Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy John, aka Speros here. In today's video, we're going to be going over some must change settings for your controller to make sure that you guys are getting the strongest aim assist, the best movement. We're also going to make some changes to our HUD so that way you guys get a little bit of extra information. That way you guys will be able to get more kills and rank up even faster. Before we get into all that, if you guys haven't already dropped a like, I'd appreciate that. Subscribe if you guys are brand new around here. Before we get into the settings, I just want to let you all know I am live right now on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm giving away 4 copies of the Vault edition of Black Ops 6. Also have some double XP codes I'll be sprinkling in the giveaways throughout the stream, so make sure you guys come over, say hi. All right, getting right into it. We are here in a private match. You can already see the screen's a little bit different than default, so I'm going to go over all of my settings really quickly here. For controller, I am playing 6.6. Make sure you guys have all of this dialed in. I am on tactical flip. For dead zones, left stick min is 1, and then max, you want to have it as 70 or below. This is going to help your movement be more fluid, also get you rotational aim assist faster. For your right stick, I recommend 5 or lower. Again, your minimums, you're going to want them as low as possible without getting stick drift. Getting into your sensitivity multiplier, if you guys don't use the custom sensitivity multiplier, this is where your ADS multiplier is going to be. I do, however, use custom zoom per sensitivity. So going into the aiming advanced settings, the custom zoom per sensitivity, I have mine here. This is where you adjust that. For your aim response curve, I am using dynamic. That is what mostly everybody's using. If you feel as if you have less aim assist than normal, go ahead and turn this from dynamic to standard, and it should make a massive difference. Going down, make sure your aim assist is turned on. A secret setting that us Warzone pros use is going to be the FOV sensitivity scaling. Make sure that is checked to on. This will also help you get slightly more aim assist. In the movement, if you want to play automatic tactical sprint in sprint assist, you want to turn it to tactical sprint assist. Obviously, put the sprint assist delay to 0, so that way you're moving as fast as possible, and then you're also able to sprint sideways and backwards. And as you can see, I just get automatically into tactical sprint. Corner slicing is now a setting you could turn on and off. With it on, when you guys approach a corner, you see how my guy kind of goes sideways. You can turn this off. Finally, I do recommend turning it off. On your screen, you don't look any different when you're corner slicing. It just, honestly, in my opinion, just makes it so that way your aim is a little bit off. So I like having it off. In the slide dive behavior, you're going to want to be playing hybrid because you can dive and shoot in all directions. So you can see quickly if I want to slide to the right, slide to the left, I am not pressing L3. Now, if I press L3, I'm able to dive in all directions. That is the benefit of having hybrid. It's going to give you the best possible movement, especially heading into Warzone. You're going to want to try to get used to that as much as possible. Sprint restore, I have that turned off, and slide maintain sprint, I have that off as well. In Warzone, in the current build, these cause you guys to get a lot of dead slides, so having these off will definitely help. Parachute, I have off. Mantle cancels reload. By default, that is on. Make sure that's turned off. And then in here, in your movement advanced settings, you're going to want to make sure that you have tactical sprint activation on single tap run. So that way you can single tap to tactical sprint while you are running. If you guys do, again, we're using automatic tactical sprint, but if you don't, or just in general, you're going to want this on single tap run. Getting into combat, all of these are pretty standard. Moving into combat advanced, you're going to want to make sure that you have it on prioritize reload, or at least in multiplayer. That's what I recommend. Sprint cancels reload, I have this turned off. Depleted ammo switch, I have it on because why not? And then obviously this is where you can adjust your finishing moves. For my overlay advanced settings, I like to have the ping wheel turned completely off. All right, quickly going over the PC settings, you want to make sure that you're on full screen exclusive. Going down here, on plus boost if you're on PC, definitely have that turned on. VSync, you want it turned off everywhere. I have my frame rate set to unlimited. Moving down, here are the rest of those settings. Moving into the quality, on your upscaling / sharpening, you want to have it on Fidelity FX CAS, and I have this set to 100. As you can see here, I don't know, it's a bug. The first time you open it, it brings up those other settings. But in Fidelity FX CAS, you want to have it on 100. I have my VRAM scale target to 80. Variable rate shading, definitely have that on. I like my game to not look horrible, and that's not like a shot at other people. It's just for me, I have a pretty beefy system, so I like my stuff to be on high in terms of my texture resolution, because that's the thing that I'm going to see kind of firsthand. So I have that on high, and then the rest of the settings you can see are on low. This is important on your on-demand texture stream. Make sure to have this on minimal, and then have the daily download limits on, and then make sure it's at 1, just because then you're not downloading a bunch of files, like game files, while you're in game. This will help you get lower ping and more like better hit rate in general. Local texture streaming quality, have it on normal, and then the rest of these are kind of low and off. Again, the biggest thing is going to have an impact on kind of what you see in real time is going to be your texture resolution. If you're not happy with your frame rate, take it from high, drop it down by 1, and keep going on from there. In your view, obviously you want to change your FOV. I play on 113. I do this on Warzone as well. I'm 29, so my eyes are not as good as they used to be, so 100% lower it just a little bit. I like it on 113. Make sure this is on effect, and make sure your weapon field of view is on wide. Make sure all of these are off. Your motion blur, both of those are off, and then change these both to 50%. And then moving over, you can benchmark if you want. I am in a lobby, so I'm not able to do that. In audio, I turn off the gameplay music. I leave the effects at 100. I like the dialogue at 50, and then the cinematic, I have that off as well. In the audio mix, I play on home theater. Moving on to the interface tab, this is arguably where all the secret sauce is in terms of getting more information in game. Moving to the telemetry, this is going to be make sure your FPS counter on, servers latency, and packet loss. Those are the 3 that I like to have. At the top of the screen, this is where the secret sauce is. Click R1. You're going over to readability. I have subtitles. I do like them off. I'm going to go ahead and turn those all off. And color customization, though, this works for both PC and console. If you want your game to look a little bit happier, a little bit brighter, have a little bit more pop, go ahead, set it to filter 2. This is the best out of all 3 filters. Set it to both, and then I like it on 100 on both of those. And then we're gonna hop into game, and I'll show you guys the gameplay HUD. Now in gameplay HUD, when you actually get into a game, you can adjust this in real time. So in your HUD presets, you see it kind of gives us this pop out menu. I like mine on magnified because it's going to be able to give you the most information as possible. Obviously, you could go with any of these other ones, but again, magnified for me is what I am enjoying. Make sure to turn your mini map from round to square. Crucial, you get so much more information. Mini map rotation, you want that on. Now, this is interesting because you can change this with any of the HUD options, and that is going to be the scale of your mini map. You can make it larger or smaller. I personally have found it to be pretty solid at 127. It's not overly large, but it also is not covering the kind of tie and the timer, if that makes sense. And then this is where you can change your icon scale. So you can see my player in the top left is getting larger with the icon scale. I like mine as small as possible because then I can be more precise when I'm reading enemy dots on the mini map. Here you could change the information that you want on the mini map, and you can also change the opacity. Obviously, I recommend keeping it on 100. This is for your opacity of the things on the screen. So if you go to equipment information and turn it down, you can see in the bottom right hand of my screen, the opacity of that is actually getting lower. Obviously, I'm going to leave mine all on 100 because all of this information that we have on our screen is very, very important. Getting back into the gameplay HUD in here, your compass type, put that on horizontal. Now you can see my compass isn't above my mini map. It's now at the top of my screen, similar to how it is in Warzone. That's just where I prefer to have it. Moving down your crosshairs, make sure these are on static. If you just have them on, you could see how they kind of wiggle just a little bit when you're moving around. You want to go ahead and make sure that they're on and on static. To have your centering be as good as possible, make sure that that is on static. Your crosshair dot, you obviously want that on. You can change the dot size. You can move over to crosshair spread. You want that turned on. If you turn it off, it'll just make it to where your crossheads don't spread out when you're moving. It makes it similar to how CSGO is. Back in here, boom, leave that on. And then this is pretty cool. In here, you can change your crosshair color, which I personally think is a great feature that they've added. Yeah, that about does it. Hopefully these settings help you. If they did, make sure to go ahead and drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are brand new around here.